Tonight, a lack of rain and warm temperatures lead to the extension of the fire danger season across the lower EP. And a Broken Hill mine operator cops a massive fine in the wake of a workplace accident.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. A prolonged dry spell in the lower EP has meant a fire ban will stay in place until early May. The CFS says the risk of bushfire in the district will remain until significant rainfall occurs and there's a drop in the mercury.
The Eyre Peninsula is no stranger to the threat of bushfires, and this year it's lingering. Despite some showers of rain over the weekend, the district's fire region has experienced an extremely dry season.
This year, just due to the dryness of the season, we've extended the Lower Eyre Fire District area through to the 6th of May. Across the whole of Australia, we've had drier conditions across everywhere. And I guess the fires in Sydney highlight that on the weekend.
Last week's hot spell with 4 days above 30 degrees confirmed extreme heat is still possible this far into autumn.
Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday showed just how bad weather conditions we still can get.
Despite drier than average conditions, the region's managed to avoid any major fire events this season.
Well, we've been very fortunate this year in that we haven't had many fires. And some of that is due to that our fuel loadings have been down in the paddocks.
But fireys are reminding farmers to be vigilant if they wish to conduct burn-offs in the next 3 weeks, leading into seeding.
It means that they can still do burn-offs, but they'll just need to go back through their council and get a permit to do the burns.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
And on that, while wet weather graced most of the state over the weekend, the Upper Spencer Gulf stayed relatively dry, and the Bureau's warning residents a thirst-quenching rain is not on the radar anytime soon.
It was an ominous-looking scene in Wyler on Friday night, as the city disappeared under a cloud of dust. It was a combination of strong winds and a dry and warm start to 2018, which saw tons of soil end up in the air over the Spencer Gulf. Paul Lanio from the Bureau says our region is parched.
2 to 4 degrees warmer than normal, and rainfall anywhere from, say, 20% of what you may normally expect to 40%.
While Adelaide copped a downpour, falls of less than 1 millimetre were recorded in the Upper Spencer Gulf. Since late last year, very little rain has fallen.
Late June, maybe even July looks a little bit more promising, but a few more weeks, I would suspect, of drier and retaining a fair bit of warmth in the weather as well.
It's a dire outlook for our region's farmers who are waiting for a change in the weather to begin cropping. Those on the land might be left waiting for a decent downpour.
At this stage, there's nothing on the weather radar, on the numerical models, to suggest that we're going to get some good rains.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
A driver has been detected allegedly more than 4 times over the legal alcohol limit in Port Pirie overnight. Just after midnight, patrol stopped the 33-year-old man from Parafield Gardens along Afford Road, where officers say he returned a blood alcohol reading of .206. He's lost his licence for a year and will be summoned to appear in court at a later date. A Broken Hill mine operator has been fined $500,000 for breaching the Work Health and Safety Act. Patrick Reinke explains.
In 2012, a 51-year-old man fell 14 metres down a mine shaft here at Parilia's Southern Operations. The man's right leg was amputated at the hip as a result of the incident. The New South Wales Resources Regulator launched a massive investigation into Parilia and its southern operations. The company was prosecuted under the work health and safety laws that the state government had just introduced in January that year. 6 years on, Parilia has been convicted of a Category 2 offence for failing to comply with a health and safety duty under the Work Health and Safety Act of 2011. They've copped a $500,000 fine for breaching the Act. The Resources Regulator says mine operators have a duty to ensure the health and safety of workers. It says when these duties are not being met, that's when it steps in, as it has done in this case. Further proceedings against Parilia Broken Hill's parent company, Parilia Limited, were dismissed by the court. Parilia was contacted for comment.
Stay with us after the break. Telstra and the federal government set to fund a new Telstra mobile tower in the mid-north. That story next. Residents in small towns across the mid-north are set to receive a boost in mobile phone coverage. A new Telstra tower will be built in the coming months, providing 3G and 4G reception as part of the federal government's Mobile Black Spots program.
Providing connectivity to regional communities. Butte and Alford will soon have improved phone reception as a part of round 3 of the federal government's plan to boost mobile coverage.
It's a priority pick to members. I nominated 3. One was Butte Alford, the other one was Robertstown, and the other one was Maree.
To actually be eligible for a black spot site, you have to have marginal or no coverage. So that site is certainly fits the criteria.
Telstra is committing to jointly funding the tower.
We understand the importance of family, connecting with friends, connecting with people in the community, and also businesses running correctly.
The new base tower will provide at least 12 hours of backup power, ensuring reception is not lost in the event of a power outage.
The coverage it provides is 3G and 4GX, so it's got the latest and greatest technology on this tower. If it's situated in the Butte area, it'll provide coverage for many kilometres surrounding Butte.
It's hoped construction of the new tower will begin in a few months' time, pending approval from property owners and the local council.
Got an approval process to go through. We need leases to actually put in place. So there's a number of things that can actually hold it up, but June 2019.
Ever since it was election commitment, we will deliver it, and the contract is now being let to Telstra, and that will be delivered.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
The New South Wales Nationals have accused Labor and the Greens of playing politics with the water crisis surrounding the Far West. The Greens and Labor are in town this week to meet with locals to hear their concerns about the issue.
It's a case of the pot calling the kettle black.
For the national parties to even mention politics as playing politics.
In a social media post, the Nationals took aim at Broken Hill Mayor Daria Turley and the Labor Party and the extreme Greens for playing politics while Broken Hill's water supply dwindles.
They've absolutely bungled the water issue, and their response to the water crisis in the Far West is to put out a silly meme.
Shadow Water Minister Chris Minns says it is an ironic accusation after the State Water Minister threatened to pull New South Wales out of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan in February. Labor and the Greens voted together in the Senate to block the reduction of water in the Northern Basin, which would have seen 70 billion litres of water held upriver. Water Minister Niall Blair said that plan's now untenable.
The National Party shouldn't be worried about the Greens and they shouldn't be worried about the Labor Party. They should be worried about voters because they're the ones that are lining up the National Party with baseball bats.
They've been invited to many of the meetings that we've had, but they haven't attended. So what choice do locals have other than to go to other parties that are willing to address the concerns of the community?
Mr Minns and Mr Buckingham are holding a community meeting tonight at Time on Argent.
The meeting is really for us to go and listen to the people of Broken Hill about their concerns about water management and the Darling River.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Port Perry's community garden is in need of more green thumbs to help maintain the grounds. Volunteers say more community members are needed to keep the gardens a place to make new friends and to help feed the less fortunate.
These Port Pirie gardeners have been growing plants and vegetables in the community garden for 18 months now.
We've got a core of community volunteers who do a terrific job. We have long-term plans. We have great support from the council. There is support from the community, but we'd like more, and we'd like more volunteers.
The small group of 7 gather every Tuesday afternoon to devote time to help the garden grow. It hopes to have over 20 new green thumbs put up their hands to help maintain the space.
It's also a source of social outlet, a source of learning. There's a lot of experienced people who are gardeners here.
It's hoped a partnership with Fred's Van and Food on Sundays will help the less fortunate.
It's a source of food for people who are not in a privileged situation, don't have their own vegetable garden. So we're growing winter vegetables planted at the moment. We've just finished our summer crop. So things like cabbages, cauliflower.
The group is also looking to put a rumour about the possible closure of the garden to bed. Volunteers say this is definitely not the case, with more time and effort going into improving the facility for everyone.
Trying to establish a barbecue area. We're laying paving at the moment. So there are things going on in the background that hopefully we can have a Sunday afternoon barbecue, a weekday working bee.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
The Port Augusta Youth Focus Group has kicked off South Australia Youth Week by hosting a skate comp for local enthusiasts. Over 20 riders took part, which also featured free food, live music and a number of giveaways. Organisers say the event is a good way to engage with Port Augusta's youth.
It's a place for the Port Augusta youth to come check it out, and I guess also keeping that relationship between local services and youth. The
event ended early though, due to poor weather. Still ahead, the last-minute preps ahead of this weekend's Salt Festival in Port Lincoln. The details next. Young Port Augusta netballers have been treated to a special coaching clinic by the Adelaide Thunderbirds. It was all part of a regional coaching tour, which also included a stop in Port Lincoln.
Outside and inside, girls from 6 to 16 were put through their paces by some of the state's best netballers.
It's been exciting for the kids to come out and share our love for netball and really pass on some knowledge that we've learned.
And to see what it is to be an elite athlete and Thunderbird in their community is a really strong driver for participation.
I learned to be better defender and better attacker so I can pass the ball quicker.
They were all excited and really wanted to learn something new from the Thunderbirds.
Hailing from the Eyre Peninsula, Hannah Petty knows firsthand the importance of participating with regional communities.
It's really exciting to give back to these communities who do give a lot to netball as a sport.
She says the chance for regional girls to make it to the big time is just as likely as their city counterparts.
A lot of girls that do make it are actually from the country.
The clinic gave over 100 girls not only the chance to meet their Thunderbirds heroes, but to brush up on their own skills, with the Port Augusta netball comp starting in just under 2 weeks.
Hopefully they come away with one little thing that they can go and take back to their club netball.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
The 2018 Salt Festival on the Eyre Peninsula is proving to be bigger and better following its inaugural year. The event opens this Friday and organisers can't wait to share the all-star lineup, showcasing music, comedy, art and innovation.
The Salt Festival returns with plenty on the menu. With an array of events to tantalise entertainment tastes, there's one headline act that has everyone talking. Musical maestro and jazz extraordinaire James Morrison will be taken to the stage.
He'll be between Russia and Switzerland and coming to Port Lincoln. So we're really fortunate that James is going to fly his quartet over in his personal plane.
And there's some exciting new additions to the menu to highlight the region's produce.
On the jetty is our inaugural dinner event this year on the local town jetty in Port Lincoln. We've got exquisite food, a long table, local jazz music, and it's going to be an absolutely stunning event.
There's even an exclusive salty beverage on offer.
Beer Garden Brewing have been a great supporter of Salt Festival, and this year they have put down the Salty Sessions Ale for us.
And like the inaugural festival last year, the events aren't just for those in Port Lincoln.
A comedy gala in Cummins on Saturday. We've got Calatumbi launching their street art festival this first weekend. We've got music and art and other innovative events happening right throughout.
But there's a warning for those with a fear of missing out.
We have a few events that are sold out. I'd encourage people to book early and book often.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
To sport news now, and Broken Hill footy export Lockie Tiziani has suffered a season-ending injury while playing for the GWS Giants. Their reserve side, that is. Tiziani tore his ACL during the Giants' 21-point loss to the Suns at the weekend. He'd already scored 3 goals for the match. Tiziani will undergo surgery tomorrow before starting rehabilitation. That's very unfortunate. Well, footy is back in Whyalla for another year, with the competition getting underway over the weekend. North Whyalla started the season off in a positive fashion with a narrow win over Rapina. John Hunt joins us now. John, a good start for the Magpies.
It was, Fraser. North finished second last year but were bundled out of the finals in straight sets and were keen to make amends this season. Their first task was against a rejuvenated Rapina side, which, with a couple of recruits, were keen to improve on last season. North had a good start to the game, keeping Roos goalless in the first quarter and restricting them to just 8 points at half-time. But Rapina fought back with the breeze in the third term, kicking the only 2 goals of the quarter and keeping the Magpies scoreless. The Roos wrestled their way to the lead in the fourth quarter, leading by a few points at one stage. But North's Anthony Malcolm marked and scored with minutes remaining to give the Magpies a winning start to the season by 3 points. In the other Whyalla footy matches, a 6-3 second half saw South overcome a half-time deficit to record an 11-point win over Aruna Bay. Kane Gale-Jones's 5 goals for the Tigers were not enough, as last year's Wooden Spooners collected the 4 points. And the grand final rematch wasn't as close as their last meeting, with West Whyalla romping to a 75-point win over Centrals. Switching leagues and we head to the York Peninsula. Pascoeville were too strong for Butte, winning by 52 points. Kadeena's premiership defence is 0 from 2, with Wallaroo coming from behind at the final change to record a narrow 9-point win. Central York did it easy over Ardrossan, and Munter had an 86-58 win over the Southern Eagles. So that's Whyalla and York Peninsula footy underway, with Port Lincoln, the SGL and Broken Hill to get going over the next few weeks. There's plenty of other sport that's also underway for 2018, and I'll have those results tomorrow night.
Thanks, John. John Hunt in Whyalla there. Stay with us. After the break, Amy will join us with the weather. And with school holidays underway, what's in store weather-wise around the Gulf, Amy?
It's going to be a mostly sunny start to the school break, Fraser, but we will see a return of those warmer temperatures throughout the region, and I'll have all the details next. Welcome back. A mild start to the week around most centres today. Port Augusta and Broken Hill reached a top of 24. Whyalla and Port Lincoln saw a maximum of 23, while it was a few degrees cooler in Adelaide with a top of 21. Looking at the satellite now, and a strong frontal system will trigger some showers, mainly over the lower southeast. Skies are clearer further north under a broad ridge of high pressure. If you're planning to entertain the kids out on the waters tomorrow, easterly winds will shift southeasterly up to 15 knots. Seas will reach 1.5 metres and the sun will rise at 6:42. More pleasant autumn weather expected for most districts tomorrow. 26 in Port Augusta, while maximums in Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Coffin Bay will stay in the low 20s. Possible showers in Cleve with a top of 22. Port Lincoln can expect possible showers in the later half of the week, with temperatures staying in the mid-20s. Finer weather forecast in Cleve, reaching 28 midweek, while Woodner will reach 31 on Wednesday, as the run of mostly sunny days continue into the weekend. Whyalla will also warm up as the week goes on, 29 on Wednesday before a warmer 31 on Thursday. Similar conditions expected in Port Augusta this week, with the maximums predicted to hit the low 30s. Meanwhile, Kadina is also in for a sunny week, with temperatures in the mid to high 20s. It's going to be a nice start to the school holidays in Port Pirie, also with a warm 31 on Thursday. Clare will also enjoy some sunny autumn weather, reaching tops of 28. And after a slightly cooler start to the week, Broken Hill is set to warm up again as the week goes on and can expect 31 on Friday. But Fraser, despite some possible showers and cloudy skies early this week, the first week of the school holidays is set to see some sunshine.
A good chance for everyone to enjoy some sunshine. Thanks, Amy. And that's the local news this Monday. Thanks for your company. Some of tonight's stories can be found on Facebook, and you can keep up to date with us on Twitter. Enjoy your evening. Good night.